5 major issues still needing to be addressed by the Browns. This is from Dawg Pound Daily. All right, number 1, kicking game. What do you think? How do you go out and go about getting it? And Chase McLaughlin will be back, but I would expect there to be competition. How important is getting that kicker?
I mean, it's very important, but that's always a revolving door. I mean, look around the league. How many franchise kickers would you say there are outside of Justin Tucker? You're always going to be bringing people in. Right now, they got McLaughlin and Blewett. Those kind of both like camp legs. So what's going to happen is those two will compete. Some other guy will get cut from another team. They'll bring him in. It'll just be a revolving door until they get someone they feel like they can put faith in. But we're going to have this conversation year after year because there's not that many stable kickers. That's just the situation.
Yeah. And you know, Tampa Bay took one in the second round and ended up – he went in the league for 3 or 4 years. So that's you just got to go find them. Just keep going through them until you find them. Number 2 on this is 5 things that need to be addressed. Wide receiver depth, that one's pretty critical.
Yeah, that's a genuine concern. Outside of Amari Cooper and DPJ, you have no proven commodities that you can, have faith in going forward. You're looking for Jakeem Grant, Anthony Schwartz, or Demetric Felton, at least 2 of those 3 to step up and fill complementary roles. And then you're going to have to, I think you're still going to end up with another veteran getting added to the mix. And then obviously a draft pick, at least one. And then you're going to have to let it sort itself out, but you got to bring more talent into the building and people have to step up. And roles need to be clearly identified. It would help if Felton took a huge step up in the slot. That would fill a very big need this team has. So until they get those roles, allotted to people, it's going to be this kind of evolving thing underneath DPJ and Amari. And then if one of those 2 go down, the Browns could be in serious trouble.
Yeah, so those are wide receiver, another one. So another one that's every bit as critical, starting defensive end across from Myles Garrett, because you don't want Myles Garrett triple teamed. He's going to get double teamed. You don't want him triple teamed or quadruple teamed.
Yeah, and I think we all know the obvious answer to this for the season would be to get Clowney back. But they do need to get another young player in this building they can groom to be that guy opposite of Myles going forward. So we're not having this conversation year in and year out. And, and waiting on Clowney can be, tedious. We're still sitting here right now, and there's no guarantee if he does sign, it's going to be before training, the beginning of training camp. So they need to get another young player in here through the draft and groom them to be that guy opposite of Myles going forward. And
it looked like Tack McKinley was on his way to being that guy, and then the Achilles kind of threw that into mayhem. All right, Baker Mayfield dilemma is issue 4. We got one more. And what are your thoughts about the whole Baker Mayfield thing?
I mean, it's just really muddy. There's no clear exit right now. But it does the Browns no good to cut him. And people keep pointing to that. They owe him $18.9 whether they keep him or cut him. You just hold on to him. Eventually, a spot will open up in his quarterback musical chair game, and then that'll be the exit strategy. But until then, just hold fast and pray he takes another media exile because he is doing himself 0 favors.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a game of poker. The time is not right just yet. There will be a time that it's right. It's just not here yet. And then this is probably the biggest one: defensive tackle concerns. I know they have young guys, but man, 2 young guys that for a team that expects to contend, that's not the way you go on the defensive line.
Yeah, you got 4 under contract right now: Jordan Elliott, Tommy Togiai, Tavian Bryan, and now Sheldon Day. So I think the floor of your defensive tackle room is set. And with Day, you have a guy that has starting potential spot duty-wise, but they definitely need to get a proven commodity. And it's probably going to come via a 1-year rental, and I'm going to keep banging the table for Akeem Hicks until they sign him. But you need someone who can come in right away and be a stabilizing force. And then they also need to draft another. And they've been doing that. You got Elliott in the 3rd round 2 years ago, Togiai in the 4th. They're going to keep doing that until people step forward and identify themselves as being people worthy of starting.
And it's important to note, guys that are 3rd or 4th round picks are 3rd or 4th round picks for a reason. They're going to take time to develop. We haven't been in a situation where we can let guys develop as an organization before. So I'm not discounting Elliott and Togiai, but you're right. They got to take a step in the right direction, and pretty big years.
If Togiai had stayed in, he would probably have been a 2nd round pick this year. So we'll see if he made the prerequisite differences through the offseason and working on technique and see if he can get there.
Yeah, and again, patience with young guys is the thing.